We have had a couple questions come in, so folks appreciate that interaction already. Um, I think the first one that we had come in was from Leslie James from Creta. Leslie was asking about if Zoom platforms allow for document sharing. And that's one issue that has had her look at other platforms. Um,
it is possible at those higher levels of cost. So the one platform we didn't talk about today, because it's been around for a long time, and I know a lot of water agencies use that, and that's WebEx. And they use it because it is a fairly secure platform. The other thing you can do with WebEx is you can actually work on documents in real time. But it is an expensive platform, very expensive, and you've got to have people that know how to use it. So for Zoom, I would investigate those higher level, just take a look at it and see what your needs are. So there's the 3 tiers above the free version. And I do believe there's document sharing in those versions, just like the version we're using today. We're sharing this PowerPoint.
Excellent. One question that came in from a couple folks was, what are your thoughts on Cisco WebEx? It's a platform that that many of the federal agencies are using right now.
Yes. WebEx, as I was mentioning a minute ago, the reason I didn't bring it up today is because it is a virtual platform, but it's been around a lot longer. I think there are water agencies that want to consider a WebEx platform, especially if you're using it for formal business. If you have security issues, I've done a lot of work with major corporations, and for business purposes, this was when we were all working from the office. They had issues with a Zoom platform at that time. Zoom has changed a lot. So I would think it wouldn't hurt to look into both. A lot of government is using Zoom now, and they're using it especially if you want the public to be engaged in what you're doing. WebEx is a very difficult platform to use in a setting like that, where you can get folks to quickly click a link and come into the conversation. That's why these other platforms are popular. Excuse me.
Yeah, well, great answer. So this question comes from Beth, and Beth, I might mispronounce your last name, so I'm just going to leave it at Beth, if you don't mind. The question is, they're a small local government district with 2 employees and 3 board members. They're thinking about using either Zoom for their monthly board meeting instead of the phone. She's wondering if they all need to have cameras or microphones for their computers, which I believe you would need those.
Yes.
And she's wondering if there are USB type plug-in versions for like an add-on camera and microphone package that are out there that might be able to plug into an existing platform.
And the answer is yes. You can order pretty inexpensively those add-on features, like a camera that literally sits on the top of your monitor. And you should have audio in most computers, but maybe you've never activated it. So take a look. But I know of many boards that are using Zoom right now. Again, for some of these more sophisticated platforms, you need a newer computer as well. You need a computer that can actually handle the platform. And so that's, again, why a lot of folks are going to Zoom. So there was a time where maybe that wouldn't have been the case, but these are different times that we're in, and their various tiered offerings do allow more security and more features. But the microphone situation, I would take a look at your computer. You should have that, but the camera might have to be an additional add-on. I ordered one the other day from Amazon. I got it in a week. It was $99. And it had a nice little light feature that will give you the right light on the presenter's face. So, or whoever's speaking. So I would look into that and go to Amazon. Amazon has everything.
Well, and Jennifer, I think that's a great comment, and something that Greg Zlotnick, one of our members, pointed out in the chat, and I think is also worth mentioning with Zoom, and I also believe GoToMeeting and some of the other platforms also allow this, is when you're scheduling the meeting, you can also use a phone number, so folks can call
Yes.
in, and I've actually done that with a couple different meetings where there was one where I was having issues with my laptop, so I actually ended up just using the phone and calling in. So that's also a nice add-on that some of these platforms provide.
Right. And if you don't want to be on screen, you can turn your video camera off, if you will. If you're doing work while you're in a meeting, which, maybe that's okay, maybe that's not, but you can do that. And if you have to step out from a meeting, somebody's at the door, we're all working from home, right? The kid just ran in to your office. You can just shut your camera off for the moment and take care of that and get back to business. So all is okay.
Nice. We've had a couple questions come in about backgrounds, so I'm going to group those two questions together. One is general about how Zoom backgrounds work.
Yes.
And is Zoom the only platform that allows use of virtual backgrounds?
Most of the newer products do allow the new Facebook one that just came out last week, Google, they all allow you to have an alternative background to just what's behind you. You really have to look at how that works for your presentation to upload the virtual background. Zoom offers you some standard ones. You can be in front of the Golden Gate Bridge. You can be in Hawaii, I think. I think there's a jungle shot. And you can develop your own backdrop. You can also upload a photograph, just like Mark has done. So there is that capability. If you're someone that isn't presenting, it works pretty well. I thought about using a virtual background today, and the reason I didn't is because I can't sit still. I'm sort of a moving person. I move when I talk, and it's like a green screen that they use for television broadcast. You move in and out of it, your hand disappears potentially. So I would rehearse with your virtual background if you choose to use it, just so you know. You have to stay pretty still, but it's also a fun thing to do. I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah, that's a great comment, Jennifer. And if Lynn Clancy's showing off, she's got a pretty nice.
See, Lynn, wave to us.
Yeah, she's got a pretty nice canal going on back there. If folks are interested in how to set that up, I'll share my screen again real quick. I think this will work. This is part of us learning as we go. But if you, let's see here. No. If not sure if you guys can see my screen right now, but if you go to the video icon next to your video, there's an option where it says select camera, FaceTime, the different options. In there, you can select a virtual background, and it'll give you a couple of options that, several are stock, and then you can upload one as well, photograph or something like that. So that's, for Zoom at least, how you can do that. So.
And they're all very similar. They're fairly easy to upload a backdrop.
Yeah. All right, now.
Uh-oh.
This is me. Oops.
Uh-oh, don't leave the meeting.
Yeah. This is me figuring out how to stop sharing my screen. So there we go.
There you go.
We're learning together. All right. Other question from Adeline Fox from TWCA asks, what about virtual happy hours? Do you suggest a structure for those, and any recommendations on how to do that? That's a great question.
Okay, I'm an expert at this actually, and I've had I don't know how many by now, but I think they're fabulous because you get everybody together. I encourage themes. Uh, one of the things that we did recently is, we've all had some really fun times in our lives. And so wear that t-shirt from your trip to Hawaii or your favorite concert. And we sort of kicked off the happy hour, if you will, with a shirt that we could just spend a minute talking about. Where was I when I bought this shirt? Was it a Broadway show or whatever? That was really fun. I also know of a lot of organizations that are doing virtual happy hours with their staff. Now, those so far, I don't know that I haven't heard about a lot of the public agencies doing it, but companies are doing it. And it doesn't have to have a cocktail connotation, but getting your staff together just to visit is a great idea. So certainly, it's keeping a lot of folks going, just connecting.
Nice. One more question from Laura Span, and this is, I think, something that's important to you. You touched on it in your presentation a little bit, Jennifer, but just the issue of security. And
Yes.
Laura asks if Zoom has addressed some of the hacker issues or the Zoom bombing issues that they had with people starting off.
They have, and I think I mentioned, let's see, today is Thursday. They sent out a new upgrade, and I want to mention the upgrade issue too, on Tuesday night. And now one of the problems is I think a lot of folks were inviting the hackers. You shouldn't ever forward your link that you have for a meeting to somebody else. In the transmission of sending that is how they're hacking. So what we've learned already is that everyone needs their unique link. And you'll notice too with the Zoom features now, the way that you bring people into a meeting. So it's a very good idea when you're hosting a meeting. Leave everybody in the waiting room and invite them in so you can identify who they are. And a lot of those hacking incidents happen when everyone was allowed to come in without being approved to come in. So that's quote operator error in some respects. So it's best, just like Ian did today. Ian invited all of us into the meeting. He's authorizing that we're participating. So those are two tips. Don't forward links and tell people not to. And Ian had that in the communication that went out, not to forward your link. And keep people in the waiting room and authorize them to come in. Don't just open it up.
Well, great questions, everybody. Are there any other questions for Jennifer about either the content today or any of the other items that we've discussed? It looks like we might have a couple more coming in. So if you do have a question, go ahead and send it my way in the chat.
And I'm just going to say that we are now over time, but we're doing that because we want to answer your questions. Oh, thank you. Cute clapping icon.
So the question is from Greg Zlotnick. So federal agencies are not allowing Zoom, but they are allowing Teams. Does anybody know what the other platform that they're allowing is?
I don't.
Yeah. I think.
Are they using WebEx probably, or?
I think it's WebEx.
WebEx, they've been using it a long time. I know FERC uses WebEx, and that's not surprising.
Yeah, yeah. The one workaround that we've found with some federal folks is um, in using Zoom. Some as an example with the Senate, they're not allowed to download the software or access the site. But a lot of that guidance came out before Zoom took steps to address some of the security issues. Um, but they will, that's one of the benefits of using that phone number. You can give them the phone number and they're able to call in. So you can't video chat with them, but they can at least participate by a phone call. So. Leslie James lets us know that she has been on a number of federal agency webinars and that they are using Cisco. So it looks like it's
Okay.
Cisco and Teams right now are probably the two most popular with the federal agencies. So that's good info.
Right.
All right. Well, it looks
Super.
like those are the questions that have come in. I imagine, Jennifer, both you and Ashley or Metzger are great about providing information. So I'm willing to bet if somebody has a question that they comes to them in the middle of the night, they can send it to me or to you, and you guys would be
Absolutely.
happy to answer.
Absolutely. And did you want to put your slide up with the upcoming sessions real quick?
It's an excellent recommendation. So we do have we've got 3 additional offerings coming up. Next week, Ashley Metzger from the Desert Water Agency will be presenting on how to communicate on critical issues, both inside your organization, staff and teams, and also externally to your customer bases or other critical stakeholders. So really excited about that. And before we step off, I just wanted to express my gratitude to our communications committee, obviously chaired by Jennifer, and also vice chaired by Ashley Metzger from the Desert Water Agency. Great team. This effort is something that they developed and have done a great job of helping us put together. And it's going to, I think, help a lot of folks. And it's something that we're going to be using for the first time tomorrow for our Federal Affairs Committee call at 12:30. So if you guys are free tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern, join us for Federal Affairs. Jennifer, I'll turn to you for any parting comments.
Well, again, it's great to see you all. And I hope this was a helpful session for you all. And, we are all going to get through this, but it's wonderful to do what we can to stay connected. I think that's the biggest thing. And keep that water running. My hat's off to all of you. I know this adds just a huge layer of additional stress to all of your work that you're already doing. And we really thank you for the job you're doing there and keeping our water safe during some unbelievably difficult times. I hope you all stay safe and healthy as well with your families.